Hello everybody, I am Jeffrey Hauser, author of the Learn With series. A colleague of mine recently asked how he could do two-way binding in Angular for a dynamically generated component in TypeScript. And Angular does not provide an easy way, but with some work you can get it working. I did some rabbit holing and experimentation around this concept because of the question, and I'm turning it into this podcast series, this screencast series about two-way binding. This sixth episode of this series is going to look at a different way to bind a value from the parent component down into the child component. We're going to use set methods. A set method, if you don't know, is a different way to create a property inside a component. We use get and set methods so that we can run other functionality when a value is retrieved or when a value is changed. If you've been following along here, I looped this code base back to element 4, chapter 4, episode 4 of this sort of series, where I am following create the component instance and set the value and then subscribe to the value. So the binding is there from outside in, but what we want to implement is binding from binding is from the inside out, from the child to the parent. We want to implement binding the other way, and we're going to look into using a set method to do that. First, I'm going to create a component instant ref value, and that'll be instance. So now we're saving back, but every time our value 1 changes, we're going to want to change the value on this component instant ref. So how are we going to do that? We're going to take this value 1 and change its implementation. We're going to change it into a get set method. So how we do that, this is a really common paradigm that I use routinely. So first we're going to implement a get method. Actually, first we took value 1, the instance property, and turned it into a private variable on this component. Then we're creating a get method called value1 on this component, and we're going to create a set method. The get method just returns this private value, and the set method will just return it. So this underscore value1 equals value. But we're going to want to do something different inside this setter. It's more than just setting. So if this instance component instant ref exists, we're gonna actually component instant ref dot value equals value. So, and yes, so this will implement the same sort of two-way data binding just by changing how the property is set. Let's make sure everything is compiled. I'm going to reload the app. If we change it on the outside, it's changed on the inside. And if we change on the inside, it's changed on the outside. So the child speaks to the parent speaks to the child, all using this approach of get set method. I like this approach. I wish it were more self-contained. We do have to change how we implement the properties inside this component that we want to pass down to the child component. But otherwise, this is a perfectly valid approach, and I would definitely consider it in certain cases. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, please check out my book series at learnwith.com, which gives you a lot of information about how I use Angular every day to build enterprise applications for clients.